Hey guys, and welcome back. Today's video is a little bit different. I'm actually going to kind of teach you how to use Canva for education. Now, this video is, of course, mostly geared for the students, but of course, the adult can learn as well. So, boys and girls, let's say your teacher tells you that you need to create some sort of flyer. So, I'll give an example. We're going to be learning about the water cycle, and I want my class to create a flyer, a digital flyer on the water cycle. So, step one, when you guys log into your Canva for Education, remember you guys have that available through your Schoology. Now, you're going to click on Create a Design. In the search bar, you're going to type flyer. There's a lot of different flyer types, but you're going to choose, obviously ask your teacher, but for example, for this video, I'm going to choose the one that says flyer landscape 11 by 8.5 inch, which is just a normal sized sheet of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now, that's going to bring you to your blank canvas. This is what you call your blank canvas because it's blank, right? Now, you want to add some color, you want to add some fun elements to it. So let me show you how you're going to go ahead and do it. All right, it's very simple. Here, where you see my mouse, these are your elements. When you click on your elements, you're going to find your graphics, anything like that. So for example, let's say I want to find something on the water cycle. So let me type up water cycle, and then I'm going to click enter. Now, I have a lot of options. I have all, I have graphics. Your graphics are like your clip art, right? Or I can use photos, or I can find videos as well. I can find videos that help explain what the water cycle is. Now, if you choose a video, you need to obviously look through the video to see if it is relatable to what you're doing. So for this purpose only, we're going to choose graphics, okay? But before I do that, let me go back to my canvas. My canvas is white. I don't like the color. I think I want to add some color to it. That's fine. You're going to hover over to this little square that has the little multicolors in it. When you click on that, you have this. These are all of your colors. You can choose from all of these solid colors to add to your background, or you can choose a gradient of colors. Gradient means it goes from a darker hue to a lighter tone. Okay? So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and choose a basic light color because I wanted to represent the sky. So I'm going to choose, see all these different options. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose this yellow, this blue. Okay. All right. So now that I have that, I want to add perhaps some graphics to it now. Okay. So what I might want is I might want water because the water cycle starts, well, it really starts with the sun, but the sun and the water, everything has to do with each other, right? So you know what? Let me go ahead and put some water. I can choose that one if I want, or I can choose, I can keep hovering over and scrolling down, and then that's going to bring up different designs. So let's say, you know what? I don't like this water, but I really like this one because this one right here kind of starts it off for me. So you know what? I'm going to choose this one. I don't have to. You can keep scrolling down until you find the one that you really, really like for your presentation. Now, if I go ahead and I choose it, right, there's a couple of things. Let's say I would like my water. See this color? It's a little, it's not much of a contrast, right? Or maybe this color is not much of a contrast because the problem is that this is a different color. So what you would want to do, let's say, I'm going to change the color of my clouds. So I'm going to go over here. These are your different colors for this specific highlighted section. When I click on this, it's going to bring me my colors. Now I can play around with the colors, but I wanted them white. So I'm making those elements white. Now, let's say I want to go ahead and I want to change the color of, I want to change that blue color, right? I want to change the color of the water. Well, let's see. Let's see what options I have, really. I can make that water this color. That really pops out. Remember, when you're creating a graphic, you want it to stand out, right? You're calling attention to it. You want people to want to see it. If I chose a color like this, for example, now you don't see it. You can't really tell where the water is and where it's not. This color is not bad. This color is too close to the background color. I'm going to go ahead and choose the one that I like, which is a dark blue color. Now, this is too small, right? So I want to make this larger. See what I'm doing? I'm grabbing it and I'm dragging it down. And I drag it all the way. Okay. So now I sort of have it where I want it, right? I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger and there. Now, here's the thing. See, now it stops right here, right? And now you're wondering, yeah, well, but now it's stopping right here. And I don't want it to stop right here. I want it to be, well, you can always increase its size. See? It'll just go outside of the original box. Or you can shorten it. Remember, right? See how you can play around with the sizes of it? And I want to go ahead and on this side, I want to leave it like this. I want to go ahead and add maybe some mountains, right? Some mountains, maybe some trees. So I'm going to go ahead and type here, mountains. Okay. I'm going to go to graphics again, and I'm going to choose my mountains. So for this purpose, I'm going to scroll through it until I get the mountain that for me is just right. So I can keep going, but I'm going to go ahead with this one. All right. Well, I'm not crazy about it. I don't like it. So I can click on it again. Again, if I click out, I can click back into what I'm looking for. It's going to see the little box in purple. That's going to let me know this is what my selection is, and I can always delete it. This little button means I want to duplicate it, but I'm going to delete it for this purpose. I'm going to click on the second one again, delete it again. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking for my mountains. You see me scrolling here on the side. Okay, and I am going to go with these. I really like these. So I can go ahead. I can make that as big as I like. Okay, and put it right here. But if I put it right here, right, I can move it down. I can move it up. But mountains are more higher, so you know what? I'm not crazy about the way that looks either, right? Let's say I don't like it. Well, again, I can delete it. I can make this image larger. See, I'm going to leave it like this for now. But I'm going to go ahead and add some trees to it. All right. So now that I have my tree, right, I can actually add some element. There are some graphics that are animated, like this one right here. So when you click on it, you will have some sort of animation on it. See how it moves? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let me take this one out. And I'm going to go ahead and add this one, okay, just to make it more fun, right? I'm going to minimize that. And I'm going to put that tree near the ground, not in the middle of the water, okay? And I'm going to move it right here, okay? So that's sort of the start, right? Now, I need to get some clouds up in here because I need to, again, this is the water cycle. I need to explain what is the water cycle, what's going on in the water cycle. So let me do this. I'm going to go to text and I'm going to add a heading. Now I have a heading. I want to type, because remember, everything starts with the sun. The sun heats up the water, which then the water creates, right? The water evaporates, which then condensates. Okay, so let's say I want to type up the word evaporation. So I'm going to type evaporation. Now, this is my text. I can make it smaller by holding onto it, or I can make it larger by dragging it more. So I know that my evaporation, this is, I'm going to drag it down. This is evaporation. Now, I'm going to go over here and let's say I want to keep the color of the font, but this little icon right here, this is going to show you how to change the color of that font. So if you want that font in white, okay, it will change it. And see, I'm going to click on it because sometimes it doesn't work right. So I'm going to click on it. Now it should change it right there. See? Okay, so I don't like it in white. I want to go ahead and change it back to black. I'm going to go back to that little A. I'm going to click on the black. I'm going to change it to black. I'm going to move it around, but I don't like the font. What is the font? The font is a style of letter that you're choosing. So when you click up here, okay, this is going to change the font for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I like that font. So I'm going to leave it. You can look through all of these fonts to choose the one that you like the best, right? So when I'm done with this, let's say I want to keep the font. I just want to change the wording because I already did evaporation. And I want to go from evaporation to condensation, right? Well, I don't need to redo it. I'm just going to duplicate it. Now I have the word again, and I'm going to drag it up, right? So when I drag it up, I'm going to go here. Now I'm going to double click in it to highlight it, and I'm going to retype the word over it. Condensation, right here. Condensation. Okay. Again, you can make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to keep it about there. So let's say you want to look at your elements again, and you want to look at condensation. Let's look up condensation is right here. Condensation. Okay. So I don't really need to add anything extra to it, but I want to show what condensation is. Condensation is the water particles that are trapped in the air, which collect and collect and collect in those clouds, which then brings me to precipitation. So I want to show that condensation is the collection of all those particles. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there to show that's what it is, right? All right. So once I'm done with that, I want to sort of draw, I need an arrow because evaporation is showing me, yes, it's evaporating into, but I want, where is it going from evaporation to condensation? So on elements, I'm going to look at arrows. Arrows. Curved arrows. Definitely curved arrows, right? Oh, I found a perfect one. Now there's a lot of them, there's a lot that you can choose from. I'm going to go ahead, let's choose this one. Now, the position of this arrow is reversed. So if I go to flip, I can flip horizontal, or I can flip, okay, or I can flip vertically. The vertical one is the one that I need, right? So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. It's still not pointing to where I need it to, so I'm going to use this little thing. See how it turns into purple right there? And I'm going to turn it over like that. And I can make it bigger if I need to, because I want to show that it's going from one element to another. Okay. Once the water evaporates, because again, the heat from the sun causes the water to evaporate, those water particles go up into the sky. And now I'm going to go ahead and go into condensation. Now, condensation, I want to go ahead and add my precipitation to the other side. So I can add another arrow, right? Or I can grab this arrow. If you click here, you have different options too, but the easiest way is to just duplicate it. Remember I told you that? Drag it. And I'm going to need it a little bit smaller. And now I move it to right there. Okay. That means it's going to go from condensation, and now I'm going to show like this. I'm going to keep moving around until I'm satisfied with it. Okay, it's going to go to precipitation. I'm going to go back to my elements. Right here, my elements. I'm going to click and I'm going to type precipitation. It's already here. Okay, precipitation. So I'm going to look for an image of what precipitation looks like. So for that one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose, let me see, I'm going to choose this one. This is a perfect example. So I'm going to put that right over here, right over that cloud. I'm going to go back to my text, condensation. I'm going to do what? Duplicate it again, grab it, move it over. Because now I can put here, highlight it, and now I can type precipitation. Okay, now I don't see the text too well. So if I double click and go to the little A again, I can choose the font, make it blue, or I can make it white. In this case, I think I'm just going to leave it white. Now it's making more sense. It's going from evaporation to condensation to precipitation. Okay. And then finally, the last one will be collection, right? So I'm going to need, guess what? I'm going to need again another arrow. I'm going to click this arrow again, duplicate it, bring it back, move it around, okay, like that, okay, and then I can add my last one, which will be its collection. So I can look for water cycle. Let's see collection. Let's see what comes up. Okay. So I could have actually used this picture too. See? Now I'm going to go ahead and look for water cycle collection, which is, in other words, the runoff, right? What's going back into the rivers and streams. And let's see. I can go ahead and I know I'm going to need to find a picture of the water going back to the land. So I'm not finding it here. Let's see if I do it here. Water collection. Let's see if something comes up with that. Okay. So I found some more elements that I'd like to add. Remember, these are all your elements, your graphics, all of those things that you need to add. Okay. And then I can add some, I could add some of this down here, right? Because it is seagrass. Here we go. Just to give it some depth. I find some things along the way and I add them in. Okay. And now I think I am going to need some sort of hill with some sort of little river, right? To show, because that's what I want to show. So let me look up river. Okay, this is going to work. If I look up river, right, this one actually I think will work because I can always put it down here, except it's the water too, so that might not work because of the fact that my water is down here, right? That's not going to make too much sense. Whoops. So you see, I just moved it by mistake. You just click undo and it'll bring it right back. Okay. So let's say, yeah, well, I tried it, but I'm not crazy about it because this is the water. I just needed a hill or I needed something, right? It didn't look as though I thought it didn't look what I thought it was going to look like. So let's see, maybe if I add something like this, right? And I can kind of cut it off right here. Well, now that's making more sense. But look, see now the problem is, right? You see the problem? It's covering the seagrass, right? I could either remove the seagrass or, okay, because now it's showing the water going downhill, right? Going down into the, okay, so down here. I don't want to cover the seagrass, so what I'm going to do is now that I have my picture where I sort of want it, right? I'm going to click on position. When you click on position, you can play around with where that picture is. So here, look, I kind of like it there. It's going to the back. Let's move it to the front now. Or I can move it, if I move it backward, let's see what happens. There, see? That's it. So I can leave it like that. I can make it a little shorter, but now it's going to cut that off. So that's not going to work. So let me make it a little this way, and then no, that's not going to work. Let me make it a little bigger this way. There we go. Okay. So I didn't want to cover evaporation too much. Okay. Actually, I'm going to move it a little bit here because this really explains it better. And then I'm going to actually move my word evaporation over here. Okay. So we're kind of getting somewhere, right? Now, again, let's say your teacher tells you, well, you want to go ahead and add an explanation as to what each one of these are. It's very easy. Same thing. You're going to go to text. But now remember, you're not going to add a heading. These are your headings. You are going to you're really not adding a subheading either, because what you're doing is giving information on this heading. So normally, when you have a heading, what do you have right after? Your body. So you're going to add a little bit of body. And in here, you're going to type condensation, right? So let's say I want to do evaporation first, right? So in here, I'm going to, you can look up the definition of evaporation, whatever it is that you want to write about it. In this case, I'm going to write is water evaporation, and I misspelled it. Evaporation is water heated by the sun that rises up. It rises up to the air, however you want to write, whatever it is that you want to write. Okay? Obviously, this is too big, right? See? If I put it here, it's way too big. So I'm going to click here, and that's going to shorten it for me. And again, same situation. Let me click out. Let me click back in. I'm going to change that font. I don't want the big font like this. That's too big. So let me see this one. That's not bad. Or this one. That's not bad either. Or this one. You choose the one that you would like. So I'm just choosing small little fonts, and I'm going to go ahead and make see how I made that font smaller? And now I want to put it here. But now I can't really see it that well. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to go to Effects, and then I can click on Background. I kind of like that. You can change the background. You can change the roundness of it. I can make it more round. I can make it more square. I like it really round. You can spread it out or not as much. You can make it not to stand out too much, but then you're kind of taking away the effect. And you can play around with the color. If you click here for color, you can play around with what color it shows up. So you can make it white. You could make it black, but you would have to change the color of your font. You guys kind of get the point. So let's say I'm not crazy about that color. I'm going to go ahead and leave it with the original color, and I'm going to click out, and then I'm done. You're going to do the same thing for all of them, right? So again, what are you going to do? You're going to click here. You're going to duplicate this, drag it up, and then click inside. And then you're going to type your information in here. Same thing with everything else, right? Now, if you want to go ahead and add a page, you click on Add Page. You can change the color of this page. You can change all of that, okay? When you change it, now, I'm going to go back to the first slide really quick. Let's say you want the words to stand out. You can animate your words, because what you can do is, see, these are your animations. You can ascend, you can do a shift. There's so many things that you can do. See? So if I click here, I'm going to choose, I might want to choose the way it rises, because evaporation rises, right? And I might want to do condensation. So maybe from evaporation goes to condensation, or I can do condensation like this, or then I can do precipitation here, and I can do precipitation maybe going down, because that's what it is. Precipitation is rain. So let me look around, let me see until I find something that I kind of like, right? So then I can go to, for example, rise. Okay, but I don't want it to rise, I want it to go down. So I can just, if I click on rise, I can change the direction of it, way it's going, how fast or slow it's going, okay, and how I want to animate it, okay. Then you click out and you're done. Okay, so when you want to add another page, I just showed you, you click on add page, and then you have your new blank canvas again. And here you can look up more information. You go back to your elements. You can go to videos. Now that you showed the water cycle as that, you can look up water cycle. But let's say that you didn't find anything you really liked here. Okay, I'll give you a very simple way. You're going to go to apps. Or let's see, videos. Well, videos is going to be what Canva has to offer. If you go to your apps, and go down here, and let's say you are looking for a YouTube video, right? There's a lot of different apps that you have. So you're going to find your app, or you can always go here and type up YouTube there, okay? So let's say you wanted to have a good water cycle video, right? And you're going to choose this one. Okay. And that's the one that you want to make as your main video to explain what the water cycle is. Here you go. Right. So I can do it here in the middle to keep it, see how those, that now I have my teeth. And then if you double click, see, I just double clicked. And then here you have the video on the water cycle. See how it works? And your
It's
friends can
raining.
look at it. Okay. So those are just a few of the things that you can look for and you can do on Canva. Now remember, I know that there's a lot of information here. So that's why I'm uploading this video. So that way you can always go back to the video and come up and look at a different area where you might need some little extra help with. I will be creating more Canva videos in the future. So I hope that this kind of helps you understand Canva better. Now, the last thing that I did want to add was that up here is where you can type in the name of your project. So when you type it, I just put evaporation and that's what I'm going to leave it as, but you can just change it there. When you click on share, see, people with access, you're going to go ahead and you can share it here. Obviously, you'll have your people here added, the people that you would like them to see your video. You can, your teacher would have to set you up with that. Okay. But this is how you can share, or you can also copy the link and share the link and email it as well. So there's a lot of different ways. See, there's a lot of different ways as to how you can share your video. Okay. Um, so I hope that this video helped, and I hope that you can get more familiar with using Canva. And remember, Canva has a lot of different things to uh, that you can work with, and it's a lot of fun. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.